Hey guys, Ahri here. Going to be doing another one of these coaching game analysis, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, I got into this game a little bit late, so not going to be able to see the early game, but yeah. So this is the same player as the Callista video. I'm going to watch his Ahri, and yeah, going to see what's up with this. Oh yeah, it's a Yasuo jungle. And I guess a TF bot lane. That's kind of weird. So yeah, let's see how he does. Where's everyone else? Udir's jungle. There you go. Okay, that took a little bit. Make sure it's recording. Fine. Awesome. Yeah, okay. Okay, so what I expect to see out of the Ahri is something like double Doran's Sork shoes with a Morellonomicon into something fairly standard like Zhonya's Void Staff, Rabadon's, and then an Abyssal Scepter or something like that. Ended up taking Ignite, burnt it on the Katarina, ended up dying. I'm assuming... No, that's actually really weird. Maybe went for a dive and got really low, stayed in lane, pushed the wave out, Udyr came and killed him. And then he used his Ignite on Udyr and didn't get the kill. That's what might end up... that might have happened? I'm not sure. Anyways, something to note is it's not super important for the red side if they win the laning phase, since their team fight is so well synergized. So the only thing that I'm a little bit afraid of is how well TF would fit in there, because he doesn't really fit into that kind of comp. It's more of Wukong, Nami, Yasuo going in, and then Ahri being able to pick someone off at the end of that. So they have a pretty big wombo combo with a couple of assassins in there to deal some supplementary damage. But not a big fan of the ADTF. Doesn't look like he's doing too well. But Leona got a bunch of kills, so that's not that bad. In my opinion, it's better to get kills on the support though. But it's not like it's going to be a Jinx getting out of control. So if they let it go to mid game, late game, that sort of thing, I don't think it will be that too crazy. Of course, they can't go to absolute late game because Gangplank, Jinx, Udyr, they're really scary, and apart from Wukong, they don't have a lot of tankiness, and I'm assuming Wukong's going damage. So that kind of worries me. It doesn't look very good for the red side. Lack of vision here, and again, face tanking. Okay, that was weird. Face tanking the okay, that was bad. Okay, so obviously don't waste the trinket. I bet you he pressed 4 when he went to press R for the ult. Ended up messing that up. And this is a little bit of a that's way too greedy. Just, you gotta kill. Just get out. No point going back in for that. But again, that was poorly executed. So I'm just gonna skip past that. It's kind of hard saying this is where you are in the game when I haven't seen it. It's looking really bad, so. Oh, excuse me. So the plays have to be made. I like the rotation by Wukong. Top lane, I guess, was going to fall anyways. But, yeah, okay, so in a situation like this, even if it's not your lane that's getting pushed in, there's already 2 people covering your lane that are doing a pretty decent job at it. Okay, yeah, they killed her. You don't need to be there. You need to run top right now. There's no way Wukong is going to get top lane before you. You need to make sure that Gangplank doesn't take this. It doesn't matter if it's not your lane. It doesn't matter if they're taking farm from your lane. Just go to the lane that needs help first. So Top lane is the big urgent position. You need to get there as fast as you can. Even running mid is a lot of wasted time. So, I don't like that. Okay, so Gangplank is 2 levels up on you, and he's full mana, full health, and he has his ultimate and his summoners. I wouldn't be going around this way. You're going to take a bunch of damage just by running in here. And then he does that. Okay, never mind. That ended up working. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It still kind of goes along the whole thing of just because it worked doesn't mean it will always work. So be a little bit cautious about that. If he was faster to react on his orange slices, his fruit, whatever, the scurvy, remove scurvy, and he would have ended up placing a ward and you know, queuing you, could have been hurt a lot. And if he was building properly, but you know, whatever. So yeah, what to do in this case? So you're down a bunch of gold, you're down a bunch of towers, you're down a dragon. Everyone else is getting fed around you, and you don't feel like you're able to do a lot in the game. First thing I would do is do not go for late game power spike. Do not try and get a late game very expensive build. What you want to be going for is a very early spike with as little gold as possible. So what you could have done in this case is go for early, like really early Sork Shoes, lay off the NLR and go for Morellos as soon as you can. Or even go Sork Shoes and Haunting Guys. Now overall on Ahri, you know, you don't really want the Leandries. It doesn't get you a lot of inherent stats. The good thing about that is most players who don't run any defensive runes or masteries will have 30 or 36 base magic resist. Sork Shoes give you 15, Haunting Guys gives you 15. You're dealing true damage to people who aren't running defenses, or you're dealing something very close to true damage against people who aren't running, or people who are running very little defense. So that's someone like Katarina, someone like Jinx. Jinx is getting really fed right now. You know, the Haunting Guys and the Sork Shoes, and then, or instead of Haunting Guys, you can go Morellonomicon because it gives you a lot of CDR. You'll be in a really nice spot to deal a lot of damage to Jinx and Katarina, and maybe Gangplank before he gets tanky. So, and even Udyr, I guess. I'm assuming he's running 2190 or 2109 or something like that. But you know, even Udyr, just in his normal form, he gets pretty tanky. But yeah, so go, you know, Sork Shoes really fast, double Doran, Sork Shoe, Morellonomicon. That gets you a very, very early damage spike. If you don't get a first blood, obviously don't go the second Doran ring, and just do that. As a mage assassin, I would say do the exact opposite of an ADC, and you can get level 2 boots first. You can rush Sork Shoes as a mage assassin, as an APC, anything like that. Most of the time, you know, Ahri, you can run into lane, you can roam, you can burn your combo, and then you're going to recall right away, come back into lane with full mana. You don't need to be building mana regen. I would get the Morellonomicon though, because Jinx has a lot of, will get a lot of regen. Gangplank has a lot of regen. Even a Relic Shield or Face of the Mountain give a pretty good amount of healing. Jinx has heal. Udyr has a lot of healing done. So the Morellonomicon would be getting a lot of gold efficiency. But, you know, the Sork Shoes and the double Doran ring would get you a really, really, really nice damage spike at like 7 or 8 minutes in. And you'll be able to roam around, especially with the move speed from the Sork Shoes. And early game, that sort of thing, at like 8 minutes, maybe even earlier, you're level 6, 7, 8, you can roam down bottom and try to make something happen. So like that. And as a mid laner, you can think a little bit more of utility in terms of CDR, healing reduction, movement speed, and they all help your game. Now, this contrasts what I've been saying about ADC or marksman, because they basically don't want that. They want to just build a lot of attack damage right off the bat and then supplement it with some crit, supplement it with some attack speed, and then get a little bit of armor pen in there. The main difference between laning an ADC and laning a mage, apart from the 1v1, is or a marksman in a mid lane is, or I guess a solo laner, but especially mid lane, is you have whole map, what's it called? Whole map influence. Like, you can make plays bottom, you can make plays top, you can go and invade the jungle, you can control a river from either side, you can defend your jungler. You're basically a laner and a jungler thrown into one. So you should be playing very mobile, you should be trying to have a full map influence, and pressure the areas that need the most pressure. A jungler is never going to gank a losing lane. So what you can do is, as your jungler is trying to gank a winning lane, you can be either supplementing that gank and getting a super crazy snowball, or you can be running and helping the losing lane if you're far enough ahead to catch your losing lane up a little bit. So obviously it's better for you and your jungler to go and gank the winning lane and try and snowball them out of control and win the game. But if you think that that's unnecessary and the extra person isn't going to add, like if they can kill the person just fine and take a tower easily, that's fine. They don't need you. Go and help the losing lane, or snowball your lane out of control. And that's most easily done if you have a little bit more of an early damage spike and if you have early mobility. So early Sork Shoes would have been fine in this case. Also, because of a mid laner, you can skip out on a, if you're a mage assassin, not as much a mage or like a full-on mage APC like Orianna or Ziggs, but as Ahri, as LeBlanc, something like that, you can even skip out the early mana regen, get a couple early mana potions, and then get blue. Just make sure you have blue buff. And yeah, that way you don't need that. You can go Sork Shoes, you can go like Rabadon's right away, or Zhonya's right away, and then, or even Morellonomicon, you can delay that a little bit. Or even get Morellonomicon instead of Chalice and Tyr, and go right into Void Staff. So again, just think of different ways you can be building your utility, and try to have a full map influence. Now, I did say in those Mastering Mid videos that you're better off not roaming. That's more for lower, like really far lower MMRs, or ladder rankings, but in this case, you know, she just wrecked you. It's better to roam, and yeah, I guess you could have stayed and farmed a little bit more because your farm is lacking by quite a bit. But in this situation, when you're super far behind, you're better off making plays than just stagnating the game by farming. So, yeah. When you're losing lane, it's fine to lose this tower. You lost this tower anyways. Staying here did nothing good for your situation. So what you could have done is lost this tower anyways, but try to make a play bottom, or try to make a play top, or take your blue buff, or something like that. So it's not a really good idea to just be that Nami and just give Katarina another kill. You know, Nami isn't going to hit a damage spike anytime soon. I'm not sure why she tried to do that. That was really bad, considering she has no summoners, and she didn't even take Ignite. So, yeah. But yeah, and then at this point in time, ended up leaving base with a couple hundred gold, get a couple green wards, and swap out your trinket. Take on the role of the jungler. I like how you're actually making sure that trinket's on cooldown as much as possible. That's good. But I feel like, especially since Leona got fed, that that red trinket will get a little bit more use. And not like you'll use it more, but it'll be a little more effectively used than the yellow trinket. So ult's about to come up. That was really nice. That was pretty much exactly what you guys need, just to try and get a couple picks. And this, you know, that was Gangplank mispositioning, so it's really good that you were able to capitalize on his misplay. But try to think in terms, like if you're reflecting on your own games, or anyone watching this, don't assume that your opponent's always going to make mistakes like that. So what you'll want to try to do is say, how can I make those happen? How can I force my opponent to do things like that, instead of just reacting to what they're doing? And, you know, a way to do that would be to split push. Unfortunately, in this case, you know, Ahri needs to stay there to defend. This was a misplay by both people. Not as much of a misplay by TF, as it was a misplay by Ahri. So here, you see that there's a bunch of people mid. You see that TF activates his ultimate. Right there. Run in, charm Leona. She's the only one in range. Just charm her. Your ultimate's up, ult in, flash, charm Katarina. Or, you know, ult, flash, ult, Katarina shunpo somewhere, charm Jinx. Like, you do something. All of your summoners are up. You are able to aggressively flash in and burn all of your summoners, your ultimate, everything like that. You are way too far behind to try and save your summoners like that. You don't need to be saving your summoners for a dragon fight or a baron fight or anything like that at this point in time. Of course, baron's not going to be up soon, and you're not in a position to take dragon anytime soon. And you know that Udyr's not there, so it's not like dragon's going to be up anytime soon anyways. So you're not going to need your summoners for another 5 minutes, which means your summoners will be up again. So burn them all for this fight right now. Burn everything. And go in. Just like autoing Ori, or autoing Leona. Like right there, that your charm should have been used on Katarina or Jinx, just, or, you know, Leona, but she's not a priority target. Flash past Leona, ult in to get some of the damage on Katarina, and then just try to charm someone. Like TF appearing, that puts a big target on his face. If you be hyper aggressive there, that might force Katarina to shunpo away. It might force Katarina to shunpo onto you. But, you know, it's not... TF's not getting shunpoed on. And at this point in time, TF actually has more gold than you, so it would have been better if they would have killed you while TF was able to freely auto-attack. So, yeah. But here, ult wasn't used, ignite wasn't used, and then there's probably some sort of BM onto TF, and that's just an early double. So, if you see someone go in like that and you're 10,000 gold behind, or you think you're 10,000 gold behind, just go in. Go in as fast as you can. Go in as hard as you can. Burn everything. Absolutely everything. I'm going to speed past it because it looks like it was a 20-minute surrender. But, yeah. And then, again, you know, I'm pretty sure I said this a lot on the... what happened to my fog of war? Okay, I think I said this a lot on the Callista video. Maybe not, it may have been a different video, but buy more wards. Just overall, buy more wards. If you don't have 3 wards placed on the map with one Oracle ward, Sight, Vision ward, yeah, if you don't have 3 stealth wards on the map, if you don't have 3 stealth wards, a Vision ward, and a red trinket, all on the map and on cooldown, at every point in the game, you need to be warding more, especially in solo queue. So, and then, of course, it's not just have the wards and play without the wards. It's you have the wards and you use those to make, to gain a positional advantage, to gain a rotation advantage. Try to outmaneuver your opponents without forcing, without fighting them 5-on-5 or on even terms. And that's where vision comes along. If you know that there's 3 people bottom, 2 people mid, there's nobody top. You send one person top, they'll send one person top, or they send 2 people top. They send 2 people top, there's 3 people mid, there's nobody bottom. They send 1 person bottom because you've sent someone bottom, there's 2 people mid, you send your 3 people mid. 2 people mid against 3 people mid, they might send 2 people top for the 3 people mid. Now there's 4 people mid, 1 person bottom, you can send 2 people bottom, tell the other, send your person from top to mid, there's 3 people mid, tell them not to fight, now you can 2v1 bottom. They send 2 more people to reinforce bottom, you send 1 person top, you pull someone back bottom, you tell them not to fight, you tell them to back off, defend, and you push out top. And you just keep doing these weird sort of back and forth multi-pronged attacks, kind of how you would deal with a tank line in StarCraft, or a meching Terran, or even a big Protoss Deathball, or you know, just other things like that. You do Ling run-bys, and you try to attack the mineral line. Well, this is the same thing. You're trying to outmaneuver your opponents while you're trying to get a little bit more minion gold to try and get the waves slow pushing, like top lane. Getting this slow pushing into the tower. You know someone's going to try and defend this, try to get all this farm in a couple of seconds, or in you know, maybe 20 seconds. So you know they're going to send 1 person top. That means there can't be 5 people mid because there's only 4 other people in the game. Only be 4 people mid. That means you only need to defend with 3 people. You can send 2 people bottom. 2 people bottom against Jinx. They should be able to kill her. Send Ahri bottom with Wukong, or Wukong bottom with Yasuo. 2-on-1, Jinx dies. Or forces mid to back off and go defend her. You tell your 2 people to back off because there's 2 other people going bottom. There's 3 people bottom now. There's 1 person top addressing this pushing wave. There's only 1 person mid. You can 4-man mid and take out this tower. You'll know that they're coming mid or coming from top because you'll have the warding down to do that. So it's a little more abstract. It's a little more thought, I guess, than the average player would put in, even at something like Platinum or higher. But keep those sort of things in mind, because even just buying 4 wards, 3 stealths and a vision ward, and just throwing them on the map, even if it's something that's not consciously thought about, those sort of rotations and just getting away when there's danger, those win you games. They can allow you to make a pick. They can allow you to not get picked off. And really, what, 100 plus 3 times 75? So that's 220. That's 325 gold plus a trinket. So 325 gold plus a 1 minute or a 2 minute cooldown. 1 2 minute cooldown plus 325 gold. It's basically boots and a cooldown. Is that enough to win a game for you? Will you spend 325 gold and a cooldown to win the game? Most of the time, most people will say yes. I was talking earlier about how you can either get 1 Doran ring or 2 Doran rings. Well, if you swap out those Doran rings and replace it with the wards you should buy, that might be enough to win you the game. Provided you know how to rotate, you know how to make picks, you can do all of this. But again, these are more of those larger scale questions that really help a player grow, and these are the things that people think about when they, not necessarily in that way or like that, but it's the larger, more general questions that you should be asking yourself and be prepared to answer that will allow you to climb. So it's not about the very specifics of a champion, it's not about very game specific things, but you want to be looking at the more large scale components of the game, or of the game, League of Legends in general, that either come up in every single game or things that can transfer to every single game. That way, if you ask yourself a question and you say, okay, maybe we'll solve this problem by doing this next game, and you do that and it doesn't work, you ask yourself again, okay, that wasn't the way to fix this problem, let's try something else next game. And you do that and suddenly it works. You've just improved at the game. It's not saying, well, maybe my Callista mechanics weren't good enough. Maybe my Ahri mechanics weren't good enough. And then you're thinking, well, maybe I just need to go into custom games and grind out some mechanics. Well, that's a very, very long way of getting better at the game. Instead, just think on these larger, more macroscopic terms. So, yeah, so let's just skip past the rest of this game. I've talked for a pretty good amount of time. Of course, like always, if you have any questions, concerns, let me know, send me a message, leave a comment, anything like that. And again, that's also why I'm not going into too much detail about how to position or how to use your abilities or when to do this, like zoning properly or minion timing, anything like that, because they aren't that important when you are gold, platinum, anything lower than that even. So, just think more on a macro scale. Very large scale, very broad, very general, very, am I in the right spot? Is this the right time to take Dragon? Do we have enough vision? Should be one of your first questions that you should be asking every 30 seconds. Do we have enough vision to be here? Will we have enough vision in 10 seconds when whatever spawns? Like, say you have the Dragon timer. Ask yourself, do we have enough vision, or am I doing things that will allow us to have enough vision in a minute and a half when Dragon becomes contestable? So, these are the things that you should be asking yourself when you're playing the game. Do I have what my team needs me to have in terms of items to be able to deal with their team right now and be able to carry the game? So, these are things you have to ask yourself. Am I playing, would Ahri fit into this comp? Is Ahri the right choice for this team? Should I have gone Ahri, or should I have gone something Lulu even? Should I have gone Orianna? Maybe if I went Jace mid and do a crazy poke comp. Like, maybe, and I'm being very abstract with this, but these are the questions that you should be asking. Does this pick fit with my comp? Does, should I rotate bottom now? Should I push this out? Should I get some more wards? And I'm really stressing the ward thing because you have, again, almost 200 gold and no money was spent on wards, no money was spent on health potions, and you still have a green trinket. And your team doesn't have a sight stone. So again, I'm really pretty sure I did this in the Callista video. It may have been another video though that I haven't uploaded, where I say even if I'm not playing the support, if I'm the mid laner and I notice that we don't have sufficient wards, as a defensive item I'll go and I'll buy a Sightstone. If I'm a top laner and I feel like I'm sufficiently far ahead to be able to spend 800 gold on an item that's going to exponentially increase value throughout the remainder of the game, a Sightstone, I will pick one up and I'll start warding around the map, and then I'll tell my team, hey guys, can you get a pink? And then if I notice that my support has a Sightstone and a yellow trinket, I'll just tell him, you have Sightstone, swap out your trinkets. And you know, I'll tell my jungler, hey, can you get a sweeper? And then I'll upgrade to an oracles, and I'll just make sure that my team has enough vision to do what they need to do. So a lot of solo queue isn't just playing properly, it's idiot-proofing your games. So if you feel like your carry isn't smart enough, and I say smart enough very loosely, if he isn't paying attention, doesn't have that good map awareness, you know he's going to get caught. So you make sure that you ward around where that, you know, I'm going to say clueless ADC is, so that he doesn't get caught. You make sure that there's nothing that your team can do to get caught or lose the game, lose a fight. That's also why it's really easy in lower elos to carry a support. You get a Sightstone, you get a lot of vision, you get a Mikhails, you get an Aegis or a Locket, you get Frozen Heart, you even get Face of the Mountain. Sure, you're over CDR, but now your team can't possibly die. Say your team's getting caught out, you don't need Face of the Mountain, you end up getting a Frost Queen's Claim, you get Spooky Ghosts. Bam, you have complete disengage. And the Sightstone. So you're building a lot of these items in a way that basically idiot-proofs your games. So, yeah, so a lot of this game isn't just carrying through sheer damage and killing people. So that's one of the biggest things, especially as you start to get closer to Diamond. You'll realize there's more to this game than just getting a bunch of kills and carrying with damage. So, and I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but it's really, 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 really important. And since I know a lot of players don't think this way, and that's why they're stuck in lower elo, I want to stress it so much, and I want to keep repeating it so that it sinks in. So, yeah. It's not about kills, just focus on farm, wards, full map, influence. Think on the much larger scope of things. So here, a lot of wasted time. You haven't really done anything in the last minute and a half. So, again, ask yourself, as you're just running around like this, am I doing what my team needs me to do to win this game? Could I be doing something better? Am I wasting time? Is there farm for me to take? Can I take an objective? Can I split push? So, yeah, see, this game's over. It looks like a 20-minute surrender. So, so really, since about 18 minutes, nothing's been done by the Ahri. So again, yeah, so since about 18 minutes, nothing's really been done. Not even an assist on the Jinx. So, yeah, so just make sure that you're not wasting a lot of time. And there's the surrender. So I wish I would have been able to see how this game actually started and where it started to go wrong. Yeah, but really, that wasn't... Up until 9 minutes, it doesn't really matter. The outcome of the game could have been changed. And as AD or APC, as a mid laner, as a mage assassin especially, it's alright to get boots first. You can go early Sork Shoes. It's cutting their magic resist in half, essentially, at the beginning of the game. Like Ahri only had at the end of the game 30 magic resist. Katarina went to Haunting Guise, Sork Shoes. That's 30 magic pen into 30 magic resist. Katarina was dealing true damage to you. So I can't see, where is it? You know, 43, 54, that's fine. 44 and 42. So again, that true damage thing I was talking about. You can get Sork Shoes and Haunting Guise even if you're someone not really Ahri. This would be something you'd be looking at on someone like Orianna. Sork Shoes, Haunting Guise, double Dorn into Morellos. That would be more of an Orianna sort of build. But you can do that. That's a high damage, early damage spike build that allows you to snowball the game out of control. And by doing that, you'll get a 20-minute surrender. So, yeah, it's not just about flat numbers. It's not just about kills. So, try to think more in the larger scale into things that can transfer between every single game you play. So, I guess that's all I'm going to talk about on this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments. Likewise, like, comment, subscribe, check out the links in the description. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook page, and yeah, like always, thanks for watching.